Hey everybody, it's Red. Welcome back to Shining Song Starnova. Forgot this was the music I was playing. Super serious anime watching music. Oh god. Okay. Well, I'm gonna watch more. That's what I said I'd do last time. I'm not gonna waste any. I'm not gonna bullshit around with anything. So let's just keep on. Next episode. The second episode began. The story now focused on Nightsong proper. In a twist, it appeared that those with scarlet marks were actually immortal, tormented souls who were damned to fight eternal until they eventually lost their mind to insanity. Sylvia Nightsong's mission was to eliminate the scarlet marks before they turned into mindless killers. She now had traveled to a remote European town to track down one such scarlet mark, a man who the locals called the Bloody Professor. Okay. Ellipses. After speaking with the locals, Nightsong managed to track the professor to an abandoned ruined castle. Various gory scenes ensued when Nightsong discovered the professor had been kidnapping and dismembering young townswomen. Because of course. Finally, Nightsong confronted the professor in another well-animated battle. Unfortunately, anime wasn't able to capture the full brilliance of the sequence in the manga. What do you mean? Animation looks superb. Wouldn't seem the battle fully hand-animated to be a lot more exciting than looking at the panels of a manga? But the professor's actual combat ability in the manga is to strike with his sword, with his words. Really? But in the anime, he's summoning those weird exploding shrapnel clouds. Well, of course, his words are pretty charismatic too, in an evil sort of way. After all, that's how he lured all those women to his castle. And then manga, Nightsong is attacked by the professor's speech bubbles themselves. That's some fucking Deadpool level shit. It's like when he beats you with it with the health bar. It is truly a fourth wall-breaking stroke of ingenuity for the professor's speech bubbles to actually sprout spears that threaten Nightsong. Ah, I see that. Well, he is quite creative. And then Nightsong managed to slash the professor's face, preventing him from speaking any longer. Just slashing his face? I mean, you kind of have to. You want to stop him talking properly, you need to take out, remove like his jaw or just tongue, or do some damage his throat to the point where he can't actually produce. Never mind. With another stroke, Nightsong cleaved the professor in half, top to bottom, in a graphic orgy of blood and guts. Wow, this anime was quite gory. With that, peace returned to the town, and Nightsong resumed permission to track down the remaining scarlet marks. Even the anime couldn't translate the visual gimmicks of the manga, I would have to say the battle sequence was still drawn well to be worthy on its own. Indeed, each medium has its strengths and weaknesses, but if the end result is entertaining, let us not question the black song. I'm gonna watch more. This better not end badly somehow. Well, now it's totally hooked. I had to watch next episode. Starting from the third episode on, it looked like Nightsong's back in Japan and adopted the persona of a high school girl. Oh, because of fucking course. She transferred into a high school in the middle of the term, and various typical high school cliches ensued. That's a little disappointing, actually. Well, this was kind of predictable, but I guess involving schoolgirls somehow was still necessary for a commercial standpoint. After all, this sort of stuff reliably turned a profit all the time. Yeah, but it's a little disappointing from a storytelling perspective, because if it does something interesting with that cliche, sure. Just because something is cliche does not inherently mean that it's bad. Cliches can still be entertaining. It's just a matter of how you employ them. A good writer can make almost anything entertaining or actually, worth reading, watching, whatever. But again, it's different from just falling back on it because, ooh, this makes money. If you really want to make money off of it, do it well. Nightsong managed to track down our next target, a fellow student at the school. He was a handsome, pretty boy who all the girls in school adored. Hey, wasn't he the main villain in the OP? I guess he's gonna be a recurring character then. Ellipses. After some more setup, Nightsong finally confronted the young man, who revealed himself to be Carl's Lightwind. Okay. Just as the two had a clash for the first time, the episode ended. Ah, this is one of those episodes, huh? But the cliffhanger at that, there was no way I could stop watching. Why even give me the choice of if he's like, so I can stop watching? Actually, I think I'm gonna stop watching. I can quit whenever I want. Damn it! We just started skipping the OPs and EDs after that. Who knew when he had more episodes to watch? After all, it was a truly grand epic of Nightsong and Lightwind fighting not only each other but their tragic pasts. Those well-animated action dealt with graphic violence, punctuated by bits of sexy fan service, and of course there was angst and drama all over. Truly, this was the epitome of Japanese animation. And as a man, I could only relate with Lightwind's struggles. How he was rejected by girls in his past at every turn, how he questioned his own masculinity and dealt with despair, and how he chose to sacrifice everything in exchange for the power of seduction and his naive teenage folly, and how he lamented when he discovered what he had done. Yes, only a man can understand his struggles. You sure about that one there, Chief? You sure about that one? Clearly, Kurosawa and Sensei understood how to appeal to otaku. That's the more appropriate phrasing. There you go. The relationship between Night Song and Lightwind turned into a love-hate romance as the two enemies gradually began to work together to defeat stronger enemies. Whew, it was now nearly 3 a.m. However, we were both glued to the TV thanks to the power of the Black Song. I'm committed now. I mean, hell, we're gonna watch this to the very end. Ellipses. The sun was rising and the birds were singing outside. Ah, yes, a typical, fuck. I lost track of how I was gonna word that right as I started. Sounds like whenever I go to bed, unfortunately, yep. It's just starting to get bright outside, and that's if I'm going to bed early. My schedule is absolutely fucked. The sun was rising, the birds singing outside. My eyes burned with exhaustion as ED played for the final episode of the first season. We'd done it. We'd marathoned the entire first season of the Black Opera in one sitting. What an animation it was. What a grand tale of loss, blood, and redemption. Mika rested her head on my lap, her eyelids drooping. Black Opera really is the best. Huh? When did she got in there? I was so engrossed in the show that I failed to notice Mika falling asleep on me. Okay, well, at least he didn't forget that she was there in general. That's what I was... For a second I was like, did he just forget she was present entirely? No, okay. Oh man, there was just 2 hours left before the beginning of the workday. I think we had spent the entire night watching Black Opera. Yeah, I still had so much work to do. Suddenly I got flashbacks to my formative years when I skirted my responsibilities with too much gaming and anime. Not that again. But I was so tired, and Mika was so warm in my lap. There's no way I could lift her up and leave her, and so I could leave the couch. So sleepy. I guess I should get some Sedai. Some Sedai? Some fuck, before the day began. Sleepy times. November 4th, morning. Good morning. Here we go. Speaking of cliches, that I enjoy, to be specific here. No, let's not inhale our fucking coffee. You can't breathe this liquid. I woke up to the shrill screams of a certain faux loli. Did the deal fall through? What are you doing? Could you have spent the night with Chuni-chan? Suddenly I realized what the situation looked like. Mika woke up and rubbed her eyes. In the morning, it was a long night, but it was so good. Mika, dear, sweet, innocent Mika, you've dug my grave. Oh, and how does this even look like it was something sexual if we're both still fully dressed? I mean, were we in a compromising situation, or are you just doing this for the sake of being a shit lolly and stirring up drama? I'm totally oh, God. I'm totally satisfied. Oh, wait, Mika, what are you saying? Aki's twin tails spiked up and shot to the ceiling a pair of lightning rods. Perverted producer son. Ellipses. After that classic scene ripped straight from the pages of any harem manga, I managed to... Not even harem manga, what are you talking about? That happens in so many anime. I managed to clear up the misunderstanding and restoring a modicum of normalcy to the office. Unbelievable. Falling asleep on the couch together after an all-night anime bender. Yeah, sounds great, doesn't it? What are you two, middle schoolers? That's aiming a bit low. Is it the time you started acting more like your age? Oh, well, it depends on who you ask about them. Oi! Truly the pot doth calleth the kettle black. Now, as his son said, they were merely researching the source material for Mika's new television show. Yes. Yes, Salami. That's exactly what it was. Research. And this time, the far more defensible kind of research. Oh, more legitimate. That's a better word there. Not defensible. The same difference, but one's not as good. It's not like the two of them were fooling around all night. Not all night. No. Fooling around all night, eh? I don't. Is that really all there was to it? Don't you look at me with judgmentalness. Don't you do it. I will punt you out of the office. What do you mean? You're just watching anime the whole time. When a man or woman stay up together at these hours of the night, it's obvious what's going to happen. You have a very cliche view of how people have relationships, don't you? Oh, stop it. That's not what your voice said. Is that really what happened, Bikun? Oh, man, taking advantage of his new talent like that, I'm gonna throw you all out on the street. Wouldn't surprise in the slightest. No more alcohol and sick. Well, and actually, you're banned from that to begin with. At least you should be. But that's not really gonna. Damn it. Be forced to stay late so that you can entertain the execs. Getting drinks forced in your throat while all the men trying to land a score, nearly passing out on the way home, puking behind a telephone pole. As expected, living in a man's world is really a nightmare. Maria really can keep on going all day with these corporate flashback stories. Oh, of course I wouldn't do that to Mika. Anyways, I was too distracted watching Black Opera. It was really quite the anime. Honestly, I was so into that I totally lost track of time. Even though it's really edgy and full of teenage angst, it's obvious that it was meant to appeal to grown men. Insert John Cena meme. Are you sure about that? It really makes me nostalgic for my own teenage years. As expected. In the end, I produces too much of an odor to make him move on a defenseless girl, eh? I think what you mean is too much of a decent human being. That's the fuck. Even though the mood was probably exactly right the whole night. Yeah, exactly right. Sitting on the couch with a bunch of fucking snacks and drinks or some shit and just like staring at the screen. Oh my god, you see that? Oh, I can't believe that just happened. Or just not saying anything at all, depending on how you are when you watch stuff. I don't tend to be one of the people who talks a lot. I'm annoyed by people who do. That doesn't stop me from saying something if I'm watching a show with somebody. But I cannot refrain from keeping my mouth shut entirely. It annoys even me sometimes. Hang in there, Mika-chan. What are you encouraging her for? Never mind. It's not gonna say different here over here either. Birds of a feather, eh? I mean, yeah. As expected. Shut up. Nah. That's what makes pretty son. I have no idea what you girls mean. Are you fucking... Anyways. We've got a long day ahead of us. I'm gonna go get into drink from the vending machine. This is our best today. Yeah. Not so loud. Oh Lord, we here. The next week, Mika and I arrive in the set of Black Opera, the live action. Oh, so the last day has come. We introduce ourselves as the cast and crew. I'll be managing Hashimoto Mika from Shining in this production. I'm fucking getting my words tripped up again. Thank you for having me. That too. A live-action television series with an enormous undertaking, with possibly hundreds of people working both on the front lines and behind the scenes to make the project a reality. As such, there was no shortage of individuals to meet and greet on the first day. Moonshot Productions. Oh, okay. Uh-oh. So this is a guy who's going to be playing Carl's Lightwind. Even though I produced the female idol unit, I was already amply aware of, Kira? Fuck, how did they say his name? Kyle. Really? Alright, Kyle. I was already amply aware of Kyle's popularity as the lead singer of a popular boy band. Still a high schooler, he had become... Are you sure about that? Again, still a high schooler, he'd become quite a teen heartthrob lately. Indeed, I had seen pictures of him plastered around town advertising various products for girls. Normally in this kind of situation, it's like some 30-year-old playing a high schooler or something. That's how most movies tend to go, or at least in the West, in any case. Wait, did I simply? So this will be playing Carl's Lightwind. Oh, Mika. All right. Now the front has got there, huh? Or maybe he doesn't have much of a personality. I don't know. Well, a lot of young talents like this, when they get popular with the opposite sex in their teens, it was common for it to go to their heads. And the next thing you knew, they started thinking they're above everyone else. Anyways, Kyle seemed to fit Carl's Lightwind's magnificent bastard image pretty well. More like just bastard. So I wasn't particularly surprised to see him cast for this role. But I don't see the director anywhere. From where? Never mind then. Hi. A disheveled man entering his middle age came out of the washroom, rubbing his patchy hair. Here's a description of me. I mean, I don't look like that, but I'm just saying that wording sounds a bit too. Oh god. Ugh. The wording gets a bit too close to home. No. Oh, fuck. Yeah, hi. At least he seems pretty chill so far. Of course, I look forward to working with you. Yeah. Oh, good. The person involved isn't very familiar with the source material. That's never a good sign. Not unless you're like, well, okay. I don't actually know if Stanley Kubrick was how familiar Kubrick was with the Shining novel, because I've never read the novel, by the way. But I have heard that like Stephen King didn't like it because of how like it diverged from the novel, supposedly. This is going off of things that I'm only half remembering, so don't quote me on that. But that's what that's just what I'm dredging up from the corners of my memory. But generally, unless you're like a brilliant director who can, pull that kind of shit off regardless, typically being unfamiliar with the source material is not a good sign. It usually means you're going to end up with a really shitty adaptation that's going to piss off the fans' projects. I'm sorry. I was expecting my character to say something about it, but okay. Wait a minute. I don't think she's. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, I can imagine that they're in your plans. Oh no. Oh, fuck. I'm so sorry, Mika.
そうですね。
The fuck are you laughing at?
じゃそういう早速始める。おい君、
Nope.
撮影始めるから早く衣装部に行ってこい。
My alarm bells are ringing. My spidey senses are tingling. And off she goes. Then I follow Mika as she scampered away to get prepared for the shoot. Let's see. I've read the newest version of the script as members of the costume and makeup staff transform Mika into Night Song in the room. Some of the writers have decided to skip the first 2 story arcs yeah. Well, okay. Skipping, depending on how you handle it, is not the worst thing you can do. One of the worst things you can do is try to jam too much into one film. You know, take too many plot lines, too many story arcs, and try and mush them into one, you know, like what, hour and a half, 2 hour sitting. That's definitely gonna fuck up the story. Or, you know, if you just completely, largely ignore the source material and kind of just wing it, that also typically, unless again, you're a super talented director that can somehow pull it off anyway, it's still gonna fucking end up poor. Yeah. It's gonna end up bad from both the perspective of fans and just in general as a movie. I mean, you're gonna be pissing off both normal moviegoers and the people who would actually, you know, give more support to your production if it was done right. Entirely, and just dive right into when Seven Nights on transferred to Light Winds High School. Well, that was kind of unfortunate. I don't like the big plot twist at the beginning of the manga. Yeah, here's the thing. Fans would probably prefer it if you did it right and from the beginning. Moreover, if you're going to try to attract other viewers into it, which a lot of companies still want to do because, you know, they want as much money as possible, starting to a point like that would actually be pretty strong. Because, again, do it well and then have a really good plot twist and a cool story that really grips you. That's going to make you want to see the rest and go, ooh, you know, maybe I'll actually buy the manga and watch the anime or something too. I don't know. Or they'll just watch the movies if they're already, you know. But considering we only had 12 episodes to cover the first 32 chapters, I guess skipping some of the content was necessary. No. Not to mention, suddenly shooting in a European town for the Blood Professor arc might have been beyond the budget of this live-action adaptation. After all, the budget was always a controlling factor in these productions. I mean, yes, but it's also typically the company wanting to make, you know, as much money off of as many people as possible. You know, they go for the whole broad appeal, the whole broad spectrum appeal, but end up pissing off everyone in the process. Wait, my job here was just to manage Mika so the crib wasn't my concern. Blech. I'm getting off on tangents. Mika emerged from the change room, dressed up its Night Song in a school uniform, and I'm gonna leave this here for now. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And next time, we'll get to see Mika dressed up as Night Song in a school uniform, probably. And whatever else is gonna come with that. I'm both excited for it and kind of dreading it, because knowing Mika, and yeah, anyway, like I said, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.